Most people think that Suki is just Sokka's girlfriend, and honestly, by the end of the Avatar, the show almost treats her that way too. But if you remove Suki from the story, Sokka never becomes the leader he's meant to be. Zuko's redemption lands differently, and Team Avatar probably doesn't even make it to the final battle. Suki doesn't have a redemption arc. She doesn't have a tragic downfall. She doesn't even really change, and that's exactly why she's one of the smartest characters in the entire show. Suki is vital to the story of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's not just because she's a good fighter. While using a fan as a weapon is always super cool, it's not the only thing about her that makes her cool. So today, let's dive into why Suki is one of the most underrated characters in The Last Airbender. By the end of the third season, I felt that Suki had kind of been relegated to comedic relief. Her character had done its job and her role was over. Because her emotional arc wrapped so much earlier than many of the other main characters, she tends to get lost in a lot of the discourse around the show. But Suki is so much more than a powerful warrior who also happens to be Sokka's girlfriend. She helps to shape the growth of Sokka, Zuko, and touches the lives of almost every other major character. Plus, without her skills, the gang would have lost long before they ever reached season 3. Everyone loves to talk about Sokka and his growth as a leader, even me, check it out up here. But he never would have reached his heights of epicness without Suki. In his darkest moments, Suki pulls him through. Sokka is a protector, that's his biggest character trait. But every virtue can become a vice when taken too far. Following Yue's sacrifice and transformation into the Moon Spirit, Sokka is broken and hurting. He blames himself and never wants anyone to get hurt on his account ever again. He takes this protectiveness too far and doesn't even let Suki out of his sight during the Serpent's Pass. But Suki doesn't let him wallow in this vice of overprotectiveness. She's not some damsel in distress, although she doesn't mind him saving her. She chews him out. She can take care of herself. This kind of fixes Sokka's overcorrection and sets him back on the right path. Suki is independent, yet she works well as part of a team. And this is a hard skill to master and is one reason why she is such a good warrior. We see her school people by herself in episodes like The Boiling Rock. We also see her work hand in hand with Sokka during the Kyoshi Island episodes. This ability is rare both in storytelling and in real life. These two skills rarely go together. Even in this show, we see examples of characters who have one but not the other. Toph is fiercely independent but struggles to be part of a team. Katara is great at working with others but has a harder time by herself. By no means am I saying that either of those characters are weak, rather, I'm saying that having all three of these strength/weakness combos in one show is a great way to showcase the theme. Suki's ability to work with Sokka also showcases why the two of them work so well together, narratively at least. Suki has an air of reserved curiosity, while Sokka has a wild energy that really only works in a cartoon. Suki is controlled both in fighting style and personality, while Sokka is wild and uncontrolled. They balance each other out, but they're not all different. Both come from small communities that yearn for more. They connect over the ways they wish their lives were different. I also think that you could say Suki is what Sokka wishes he was, or maybe even thinks he is at the beginning of the story. She's strong, talented, and the protector of her village. She shows Sokka what it really means to be a leader. Often, a big complaint I have about strong female characters, recently at least, is they don't have any weaknesses. They are perfect characters, but not in the interesting way. Suki is like them. She doesn't really have any weaknesses. Perhaps her love for Sokka could be used to manipulate her, but I hesitate to call that a weakness. So why do I still love Suki's character despite this? It's because Suki has what is known as a flat arc. There are three kinds of arcs in storytelling: positive, negative, and flat. In a positive arc, the character becomes better. In a negative arc, the character becomes worse. These are very common story archetypes and are not extremely difficult to write, although they are hard to write well. A flat arc is a little bit different. It's rarer and definitely harder to write than either of the other two. In a flat arc, the character does not change. Rather, they change the world and people around them by virtue of their character, personality, and actions. Suki has this kind of arc, and it's executed to perfection by the writers of this show. In The Serpent's Pass, it is Suki's independence and love that drags Sokka out of the pit Yue's death left him in. As for Zuko, Suki doesn't trust him from the start, but when he proves himself, she believes in him. She trusts that his actions show who he is, and she's one of the first people to do so. She validates his change of side, and in the end, Suki influenced her circumstances by being an integral part of the team that brought an end to a war that had been waging for 100 years. So while Suki may not be as compassionate as Katara, grow as much as Aang, or go through as much emotional turmoil as Sokka, I think she is just as interesting as the rest of them. I hope by now that you do too. Let me know your favorite Suki moment down below in the comments. I'm Judah Heiler from Shruvi Radio. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more YA animation and adaptation analysis. I'll see y'all in the next one. But before I go, I just want to tell you about my book. This is a fantasy book that I wrote. It's got elemental magic, just like Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's inspired by it, but it's got its own wrinkles, you know. I wouldn't say that it is incredible. It's not groundbreaking, but I think it's really fun. A great action adventure story, good for kids, teenagers, all ages. There's nothing in it at all. And so yeah, you know, if you like it, check it out on Amazon. Just search Silent Judah Eiler. I'll also link it in the description, possibly in the pinned comment. So let me know if you end up getting it. I hope to see you out there. Farewell, friends.